I started with 70s Hondas mainly, and then I was hanging out with a heap of dudes, older English fellas, who had these sort of bikes, and I thought, man, these things look really exotic, but I'd never owned one, too scared to own one because obviously all the work you need to do with them. And then I got a Norton Commando, and yeah, that was it, man. I loved British bikes from that point on. My name's Calum, and this is my 1978 Triumph Bonneville. I never really planned to buy a Bonneville. I had a Norton Commando at the time, and this bike came for sale on Facebook, and me and a buddy bought it to try and maybe flip it, just to make a bit of coin or just to have a bit of fun with it. But it didn't take long for me to realise the potential, and then I ended up just buying it and building it from scratch. Pretty much from the moment I got it, it broke down on the way home from my buddy's house, and it didn't take long after that before I stripped it down for a rebuild. So since the rebuild, it's every single last bolt, bearing, seal, everything has been rebuilt in this bike from the top to the bottom, inside and out. The original plan was just to freshen the motor up and just sort of do a scrambler style bike that looked like a real Steve McQueen desert sled. That was the plan. But then when you start pulling things apart and they start getting rebuilt, it's hard, you can't put new things here, new things there where they need to be replaced. So it is tricky to make a really flawless bike that has that original patina. So that's when we just went to town and every single thing got powder coated or re-chromed. Or yeah, I think like they come with massive front fenders and big rear guards, and subtle changes like that, ripping them off and putting some really slim aluminium ones on, getting rid of them massive rear big tail lights and minimal stuff like that. It makes a big impact. Of course, the smaller front headlight sort of cleans everything up at the front there. Just this little subtle touches that, it doesn't take much to strip these bikes down to make them look really clean. Yeah, so I started stripping the bike when I was living in Perth. So I stripped the bike, gave all the engine components to Bennett British Imports. And then we moved myself and my wife moved to Geraldton for a year and a half. So the build took place in Geraldton, where I was working extremely long hours. So it was really only an hour here and there after work, and whatever I could squeeze in on the weekend. So it was certainly spread out over about a year and a half. Just any time I could get, I was in the shed tinkering away, getting it done. So I did want to keep like a stock style paint scheme. I didn't want anything too crazy. So I really do like that sort of light pearl white, and I think the blue and the white with the silver frame, it really pops. But I did want to stay just sort of the true Triumph design. They're a very small bike. They're a 750cc, but they are a very small bike. So they've got a heap of punch, and they're very small and nimble, and you can really throw them around the streets. They're really fun as an urban bike. With the style exhaust that's on them, it's really loud and barky, so it sort of backs up that scrambler sort of desert sled sort of bike, where most people used to just lop the exhausts off, or so it really does give you that sort of dirt bike feel. Well, I think when you build a bike from scratch and you make it exactly how you want it from the start, it's suited to me. It fits my style, all my tastes. It's perfect. So once you get a bike to that level where you can trust it mechanically, because you know exactly what's been done to the bike, and it looks exactly how you want it to look, performs like you want it to perform. It's your perfect bike. So and it'd be very hard to get rid of, yeah.